Yo, what up, guys? Welcome to Faded Town, #1 Pokemon podcast in the world. These are facts. Look them up in a book. Google it. Whatever you got to do, you know. This is our Thursday episodes, where it's our weekly Pokemon breakdown. We're just gonna have the homies join me. We're gonna talk what happened in Pokemon in the last week. This week I got Franco and Pedro with me. They both competed in this really fun event, NA versus EU, which is like totally player driven and super, like, the stream is amazing. We'll touch on that. Well, we're gonna talk a lot about that because that was actually really cool. And then there was an expanded limitless thing that we'll touch on. We had that, and then there's the player championship team thing that Pokemon's doing that absolutely no one has any idea what's going on. So we'll definitely try to bring some light to that. But really, Pokemon's been with Limitless and all these tournaments that that one tournament page just like makes the Pokemon community actually
literally amazing, right?
Yeah, it's insane.
Yeah,
it's insane. But I kind of want to just jump into this NA versus EU thing. And, like, I don't know if you're watching this and you didn't watch that or you didn't see the Japan versus NA one. The stream, it's actually insane to watch it because you're taking 7 of the best players from NA, 7 of the best players from EU. You're putting them all in a call together, and they're playing... Like when you think like 7 versus 7, you're thinking like, oh, Pedro versus Franco or Pedro this. Really, it's 7 of the best minds on each side of the field playing each deck, and like if you watch the stream, it's insane. Like the knowledge you can get from just watching that stream. I tell people all the time, I'm like, dude, you need to watch this because like. I know you guys are having fun and stuff, but if you really listen to, like, the best moves are trying to be made, and you got, like, the 7 best minds going at it, and you're like, okay, boom, and then you have the 7 best minds trying to react to it. It's like, it's on the next level. Like, Franco, you're, like, the organizer of this, right? Like,
I guess. I mean, if you want to put it that way. At least for US, for the team.
Like, how did it all start? Because it all started with Japan, right? You and Japan.
Yeah. So the way it kind of started was, during summer. I don't remember what month was that. It was like before POG. I remember that. So it was like before August. But during that time, Japan formed a team of 7, and they, I think they asked the EU players for 7-on-7 friendly match. You know.
EU was scared.
And then, yeah, it was like a weird hour for us. I remember I was watching the game, like partially of the game, because it was like, I don't know, it was like 4 a.m. for me. But I was watching it because they looked cool. The way they presented was kind of appealing. So I was like, oh, let's see how that goes, you know? So I watched it, and when I watched it, yeah, pretty much Japan was like, 7 of them were there, and they were playing 7-on-7, like 7 different decks, but like I think it was cool because the Japanese players were like kind of like coordinating like each other, on the stream.
Yeah.
So you were watching the stream. Basically, what we saw, recently, it was like that,
Yeah, it's super cool.
Where, yeah, like there was like a one game where like I don't remember his like actual name, but there was like one Japanese player. He was playing against Philip, and he was playing Obstagoon.
Okay. And
it was like a crucial turn where the Obstagoon player was about to lose. And then Shintaro was like, you know what? No, don't do that. Just go Sableye and then use the Sableye to Cynthia so you don't deck out. And long story short, that's how they end up, Japan end up winning that series because of that one play that Shintaro did,
That's insane.
Like, so that's when it clicked in my mind where it's like, oh, this is actually like really cool idea,
Right.
And it pretty much started with like, afterwards I was like, then I had a Raul and I was like, Raul, like, do you think this is like, I saw this. What do you think about this idea? And he says, that's cool. And then we could just kind of start as like, you know what? Do you want to like trying to do something like that? Because in my mind, I was like, all right, they play EU, so I'm pretty sure they're down to play USA, because it's like the two major regions, in Pokemon TCG in terms of size. So there's that, and then we pretty much put our team together, and then I'm Japanese, so and I know like most of the players from the Japan side as well. So, we just like, I shoot a message. It's like, hey, like, it was cool that I saw your stream, and I was like, do you want to do like USA next? And they're like, yeah, we're totally down. And that's how we arranged with that. And then that's when I thought, I was like, oh, this, that's when in my head, I was like, this might be like, I might be onto something, that
Definitely.
can come up with something that can entertain the community in a different way, in a unique way, a little different than usual.
I think it doesn't get enough light on it. Like, I don't know.
Mm-hmm.
I think a lot of people do watch it, but like, I personally, like, when I watch that, it's the most entertaining stream by far that I've ever watched playing Pokemon. Like, don't get me wrong, shoutcasters they do what they gotta do or whatever, but like, to actually sit there and listen to like people that are really good at the game talk over how the matchups are, it's a million times better than listening to a shoutcaster. I know it sounds like horrible, but it's like you can't get that experience anywhere else. Yeah, and like then you put like regional premise on it, which is like, now I'm like Team USA all the way, let's go. And then like when you guys were playing EU, you're literally we went down to game 7, game 3. It's like, and I got my USA chants ready for the chat, but it's like as much as like you don't really care, but it's like part of you is like, nah, USA, but then freaking Mr. Pedro over here comes with the BM at the end too,
and like, never fail.
I know it's all for fun. Like, it's fun. There's nothing behind it. You're not winning money. You're not doing anything, but you still want to win, right? Like,
yeah, everyone wants to win, right?
Everyone wants to win. And
it was like the perfect scenario, right? Because it was like 3-3, 1-1, game 3 of the last match. For us, was like 3:30 a.m. So I, of course, need to thank all my team, because I guess Robin, Tor, Nico, and me were staying all that long. That was like really, really late for us, and super tired because I was streaming too. So I was, like trying to set up all the things on streaming while playing at the same time, like after 11 hours of streaming, and try to focus on the game. And it was like so many things, but of course, always worth it when people super enjoy it and really like this. And I definitely think it's probably one of the best bots to rewatch to actually improve as a Pokemon player. Because, for example, when I test with Thor and I'm testing with him whatever deck, every time I say, yo, bro, we need to do this play, and he said me, no, we need to do this play because this. I was like, yo, how do you see that in 2 seconds? I need 20 seconds,
Right?
So that happened during 11 hours that Thor, Robin, me were saying things that maybe a lot of people watching will think, yo, I need to become better. I have no idea about the game when I watch these guys thinking this plays,
Yes.
It's like, maybe I see 2 or 3 plays, but if they see how America, USA or Europe are analyzing every play, every single turn during 11 hours, it's so many free information for everyone to see. People will think I need to become better at the game because I have no idea about Pokemon watching these guys,
Exactly.
So I guess it was really cool and really nice for all the audience and all the Pokemon community to have that for everyone and like free to see,
Yeah.
free to watch.
I think like the first time I watched it, I didn't watch the EU versus Japan. I watched the NA versus Japan, and like it blew my mind. I'm like, wait a minute, like they're all on a call, and like you're just I'm like, this is like the freest, like most entertaining, most knowledgeable thing you could ever get in a situation this, and it's like, and I mean, you could just the way people think, and like you can tell like Bradner and like Tord, they're very they think very slowly and make sure that the plays are made perfectly. And it's crazy. And then you have people like Dan, where you listen to Dan and he's like all gung ho in there, like, nah, we should have done this, doom. And like, it's funny. It's funny. You listen to him, but like, his plays aren't bad either.
Stones.
Yeah.
And then with the Stones, easy, free matchup, you know.
Which is that's the fun part too, is like, you see how far ahead players are thinking. It's like, okay, we can think, we can do this, but like, there's points where NA's up like 4 or 5 prizes, and you can just hear like Bakari and Franco and people are just like, all right, how like, I think we lost. And it's like, wait, you're like, like your average viewer watching that, it's like, dude, you're up like 5 prizes.
Exactly.
But how do we get, like, they're gonna do this, and then it's, we don't have an answer to that. It's like,
and especially, I really like it the game 3 of the last matchup, because
yes,
we started the matchup, okay, and we have well, that's a spoiler. So if you don't want to be spoiled, watch the matchup first on my Twitch channel or on Franco Twitch channel, and after that, click on play here again, because it was really nice to watch it. So if you didn't watch it, do it. It was really nice because we started Beakable, and our hand was like Dene, switch, and we're facing a lightning matchup. So it's like, all right, everyone will probably do the Dene to advance in the game. But then we said, all right, if we do Dene and we lose 3 switches, we probably lose the game anyway, because they know they can paralyze for free all the game, and they will paralyze all our Pokemon and take free knockouts. So it's like, we need to pray for the top deck, like a Marnie or like a Crobat or like or being Marnie. So even if we could actually just go Surfetch, Switch, whatever, it's like, all right, we need to keep a big hand, so it's more likely they Marnie us. So we just Beakable attach, pass. But why we do that play? Because we know that in the long term, if we lose in 3 switches, probably is really likely to lose the game. So after that, they whiff the button to 1, and we top deck another switch or stuff like that. You know, our hand was like, bro, we still can't do the DNA. The thing is, like, we have boss in hand, so it's like, all right, we need to trap something and then pray for a Marnie. But then they flip hammerheads. So it's like, yo, we can't go again for the attach pass. And suddenly, Thor was like, yo, we need to bait them. It's like, we need to bait them, because if we do that, we lose anyway. Attach pass anyway. And everyone's like, no, we can't do that. We need to advance, because next turn, if they have Coco Prism in the deck, they will full blitz. They have 6 energies in play. We have 0 energies in play, and we lose. I was like, Thor, yeah, but the bait will work. So we bait them, we attach pass again. And then it was really funny, because when I rewatched the Franco streaming, everyone was saying they are breaking. We were not breaking. We were breaking on purpose. So it's really funny, because no one said maybe they baiting us. Why we not play safe? And I guess only Sander was the only one like said, bro, we're gonna full blitz this turn. But if we research, that was what happened. They lost all the bosses for the game.
Yes.
And we had the DNA and research in hand or something like that, but we needed to wait the Marnie. And suddenly, the decision we were making by no the DNA, because we lose all the switches, it was the decision they made because the hype, they were thinking we were breaking, but we were actually not. So the bait actually worked, and they researched, losing all the bosses on the game. And then we said, yo, now we can win. Now it's our time to check. And I guess Sander was the only one like, if we research and lost all the bosses, we lose the game in the long term. And everyone said, no, bro, we need to go research. And if they Marnie, probably we lose anyway, because they will have 6 energies in play plus 3 bosses.
Yeah.
You know, but with the research, for 2 card different, for example, they lost in the long term. So then after that, you know, that was the key turn that the whole, after 11 hours, you have the mind to say in the final key matchup to be calm and say, we need to attach pass again. You know, so that's exactly the long run that people will see and will say, that's crazy. Yeah. So that's stuff like marks the difference sometimes. Exactly.
Yeah, it definitely did. It was kind of funny because, you know, they were in a spot where they couldn't dump their switches, and we were in a spot where we couldn't dump our bosses. And on top of that, on the crucial turn, if you saw it, like we top decked the last boss too, so we
Exactly.
were like, we kind of have to
Exactly,
make a
and that
decision.
would probably should be the decision to, of course, do Marnie, because it's like a lot of advantage in the mid and late game, because it was funny because they hammerheads again, so our play of Beakable didn't work again because second hammerheads. And the board, I took a picture because the board of the game 3 of the last in the matchup after 11 hours was, we have a Beakable with 150 damage, with no energy, with no bench, and the opponent had Pika with 3 energies, Mewtwo with 3 energies, and Raichu with 1 energy. So if you just send the picture to someone and you say the Beakable player with no energies, no field, 150 damage, and the other guy with 7 energies in play, if you say to everyone that the Beakable player won, they won't believe it. They will say that's impossible because the board position. That's the importance of saving resources and stuff, even in a crucial matchup that you need to be calm after you are super tired,
Yeah. I thought,
Yeah.
like watching it, you're like, it becomes hype because you hear, oh, they're bricking, and like,
And
that's
only,
where
only Sander was like, we need to Marnie. We have the advantage. We need to Marnie. We need to save resources. Everyone like, no, bro, let's go. Woo, all in,
yes, that's what happens. And I think like that makes a different like aspect of the game because if you're playing alone, like if it's just you, you don't have hype men behind you screaming they're bricking, they're bricking. So like you can focus in on yourself and think more logically, as much as like having 7 minds is great, but when you have 5 out of 7 minds yelling, oh, we got this, this is brick city, blah blah blah, then it's like that changes your mindset of like, oh, maybe they're right, it's like, all right, let's just try to win quick. But like if you're playing alone, you might think everything out,
Yeah, it was interesting because the same thought we have, like if we the Dene, we maybe win the game, but probably it's really likely in the long term we lose because we lost 3 switches. It was literally the same feeling they should have when they say, if we research, we're gonna lose all the bosses, so we probably can't win the game. So it was the same scenario, and both teams took a different decision on that time, So that's to analyze why everyone took that
Right.
decision and why that marks the difference sometimes in the winning or losing a game or a match or even a tournament or even a winning.
Yeah, and like I don't know, it's been like Europe's been having the most success, I think, over the last few years in big tournaments, and
yeah, kind of.
It's hard to tell because Europe doesn't have as many regionals as we have and stuff, but when it comes down to international tournaments, I think Europe's been pretty dominant. Right? Yeah. Nico just took the last one, right? I know it's been like a year, but Nico took the last one, I think. But
yeah,
it's like, but it's really cool to see. Like, we don't get international play, and like these online tournaments are cool, but when you don't really see the players play and stuff, and then I think it'd be cool. I think like Pokemon's trying to do something like that with this team thing, but it's like a lot different. I don't know.
Definitely, they did trying something, but it's.
I think
will never be the same. Will never be the same that we have, right? So hopefully in the future we can actually have something.
Yeah, I wonder
kind of close.
What
we have.
Like what's the evolution of this? Because I think there's a place for this. I think there should be a place for this in a bigger scale. What do you guys think about that? Do you think that something at a bigger scale of this could happen? Where you have teams versus teams? I know like we've always had like Team Limitless and someone's PC and DDG and stuff, but like it's really an individual game. Do you think a bigger scale, especially when you see streams like this, could this happen?
I think it really comes down to the community. If like the demand of the community.
Yeah.
If that's something the community wants to see, like for example, when I thought about this, I thought about it in a different, I want to say like divisions, like categories. Okay. Like for example, like USA versus Japan, USA versus the EU, country versus countries or versus continents. That's like a one category in my mind. When I thought about it at first, and then there also could be something more similar to what Pokemon does right now, where it's more like you can pair up with whoever you want, or it can be like a smaller size, like it could be 3v3, or it can be 7v7, like me and Torres same team, or like Pedro with Azul, like all mixed up,
Right.
So it kind of comes down to, first of all, if the community likes the idea of the team format, and it comes down to if yes, then what, what would you like to see in general? Like, would you like to see like country versus countries, or continentals, or maybe I don't know, like teams, like specific names, teams like that, or just simply mixed? Like make a tournament, make a qualifier, and build something like that.
Yeah, I think Pokemon's maybe I don't like. Part of me feels like Pokemon, the company, is looking at the community more. I think there's a lot of things that have changed in like PTCGO, where like for example, if we just look at Player Cup 1 to Player Cup 2, big difference. And I feel like I don't know how much they're listening to us, but I feel like they're listening. And then these player streams, or these team streams that you guys have been doing, and now we're having a team tournament thing, which I think is like a really good first start to see how this goes. I don't know exactly what's gonna happen with this.
Yeah, I have the feeling that the players are actually who are moving this trend of have the TCG game like during all this time alive, because Pokemon, it's with the Players Cup, but they are not enforced too much to do it like super well organized. The Team Challenge Cup, that no one knew anything until the last moment. Even in Spain, we didn't have anything translated, and so many own shoppers didn't know English, for example, so they were super messed up. So I guess actually in these months, what is actually moving that the game is alive are the players, because Torres streaming on Twitch, for example, Azul is streaming on Twitch, Andrew Mahoney is streaming on Twitch, moving like hundreds and hundreds of viewers every single day, because it's like a work for them,
Yeah.
I try to do the same like them, even if I don't have the level reach still to the people like they move. I guess it's the players that are streaming, and the players who put this alive to have something. So I guess TPCI should be like super proud to have us doing this for nothing, because we love the game, and we are like, we want the game alive, and it's like we are moving this to have a better
100%.
audience, to have like a community even bigger every day, so I guess definitely Pokemon should make a move to help all these people, like like Thor, Andrew, to reach more people. And I guess it would be a really good combination of like Pokemon can reach anything in the in the community. So why not help these people that are actually moving all these trends, all this stuff? I don't know. It's like we are helping Pokemon, to have this alive, but they could definitely do more things, I guess.
Yeah, I agree. I think like limitless is just I mean, I talked about it on the last podcast. Like that website shouldn't be free. Like it's that disgusting. Like it's so good, and like the effort put into that, and like just the play button by itself. Like I ran away from this game for like 6-7 months. I come back, someone's like, dude, you just click on this play button, dude. You can play in a tournament every day.
Play, check-in, play, and you play a tournament, and you don't need to do anything more.
Don't have to do anything. I'm like, wait, like, what do you mean? He's like, yeah, dude, tournaments every day if you want to play. I'm like, all right. So I've been dabbling now. So it's so much more fun to play in tournaments than it is to just sit on the ladder on PTCGO. Like the ladder's so trash, the game's trash. But like, I'll play a tournament. Like, why not? And like,
it's like if I do well, nothing better to do. If I do bad, I can drop and do whatever.
Exactly.
So it's like win-win condition. I always say, I'm gonna play. If I do bad, I can drop and do another thing. And if I do well, I'm happy, because I'm like trying to compete, even if it's not the same. It's like I'm feeling at least that I'm competing in something at home.
It's just fun. Like, I don't know, competing's fun. I think a lot of us
Yeah.
play this game to compete. I mean, traveling is awesome. Traveling and competing are probably the best two
Yeah.
things about this.
Because, for example, the other day I won a tournament of 300 players
Right?
that could be like bigger than almost every Europe regional sometimes, or every Latin regional, or every an international, even bigger at home, and the prices were packs. You
Yeah.
know,
Yes.
uh, people don't care about the prices. People want to have fun. People want to be
Yep.
entertainment. So I won a tournament with 300 people. I was streaming it, and when I streamed the tournament and I won, uh, I have the feeling that I was super happy because I was competing and people were cheering up for me and like, yo, we did it, whatever.
Yes.
And that's the feeling because we don't care about the prices. It's like we want to give entertainment, we want to give emotion, we want to have fun with the community, you know. So
yeah, I think like I've played in a couple in the last week, and like it's like brought more light to the game than I've had in 7 months, and I know I'm playing like degenerate ass shit, but it's fun. Like even I love that Limitless is doing expandeds every weekend now, and because I felt that was really stupid. Like they put out a new ban list and then just didn't ever do an event about it, and I'm like, and Limitless was like, all right, I guess we'll do this, and so that's been fun. And I think the meta in expanded's pretty crazy. I think it's a lot more. I mean, obviously there's a lot more cards, so there's a lot more variety you could do with it. But I mean, you still have your powerhouses. Like you have the Roxy Chomp deck that literally goes turn 1-240 and goes, "What do you got?" And like every time I'm building a deck, I'm like, "Do I have a response to turn 1-240?"
Never.
No, I don't. Like I don't. Like what do I even do in this situation?
I feel the same when you play Peak and Expanded and you focus on one. You know you win the game because the opponent went first, no supporter, and you were second supporter and focus on one, and the opponent's like, "All right, I lost."
Yeah, I felt that like the supporter thing in expanded is super.
Yeah, maybe
like,
should be changeable because in Expanded should be fine to do first with supporter, I guess. I don't know.
Agree. Because like
needed a test, but the cards are super strong for being second because if you can't play any single card going first, not even a Bridget in a set of decks.
If like,
going second with all the pool of these cards plus support is a big advantage so far.
It's an insane advantage. Like Archie's is literally trash. Like you can, and like going second with Pikarom is like disgusting. Like
easy publish, whatever.
You can't even care. Like setup decks, Zork is pretty freaking useless at this point. Like we see a little success from it, but it's like without Bridget, it's I don't even know, man. Nothing. I don't even know.
I feel so sad sometimes because I don't know. I didn't play so long. I started with Boundary Scrolls with like Blastoise Keldeo, so I didn't play this game for too long. But I guess right now I'm in terms of competing and in terms of skill level. Right now I'm so sad for the format we have because the skill level you need to win a tournament is definitely it helps the players with less level because you can GX boss for win, or you can just welder 300 really easy. When before, for example, when I play Zoroark or another decks in another format, if you face a new player, for example, and you play the same matchup, with the experience of the Zoroark traits, you probably win 19 out of that 20 games. But now, if you, in this format, play a matchup against Hammers or against Welders or against ADPGX with 4 bosses, everyone can beat you. So it's like you can try your best, but you have no control about the game like before. Before between Zoroark and nothing doing 210 in one hit other than Picabulu, you can actually control your hand and you can control the game. Now that's over, and that's really sad because there is no end and everything one hit KO everything in 2 turns. You know if you win or lose in 3 games. Yes. So I continue playing because I like Pokemon, but it's definitely really sad for me the format we have because of course I still win 3 tournaments online lately, but I feel that sometimes it's not in my control to control this game because I'm a skilled player like before. So and now it seems it's not advancing well this because now with the V Union
we could talk about
can't
that.
expect nothing better, I guess. But we will see.
Right.
We will see.
Like
We'll see.
I've been playing Decidueye, and like I feel like because like on all these online tournaments, before you even get into the match, you can look at their list, and like I can look at someone's list and not even play the game. I'm like, oh, you don't. Oh, you have an out? Okay, you got me. Oh, you don't have an out? I won. And I'm
It's literally
like,
no sense.
yeah.
It's literally no sense.
I'm like, I'd
really
have
sad.
to get really unlucky for you to beat me here.
Exactly. If you just tap, you win. And what's the funny thing, And people over the world, 90% of the people playing this hammers in TCG Live with no real events. Like people don't want to make us happy. It's like I know so many friends that they never play online, and they told me like, Pedro, I turn on TCGO after 1 month. They sit, they play 3 games, they've been hammered at 3 games. So like, Pedro, I'm gonna forget TCGO forever. I mean, it's like, and that's the player's fault because there is no events to prepare for. So
Yes.
why we want to make the game less funny, playing a card that is not skilled, and it makes people sad or angry or whatever when this is supposed to be funny more now in the times we live in because there is no real event to prepare for. So people are not contributing in this, and I know so many friends that told me, "Yo, why should I play this game in my free time? If when I want to enjoy, I'm being hammered heads, and I disconnect TCGO, right?"
Yeah.
So.
I think I went like right before or like middle pandemic. Like somehow we had like a local event. I go there, round 1, the guy hits 4 hammers on me, and like I'm like, oh, this is Pokemon now. This is what we're doing.
And then you want to do is drop and play Switch and play computer.
Just leave. I was like, that was fun. I don't even want to like.
Yeah.
And the worst part is like when you have new players that hit 4 hammers, and like they act like it's like obviously that was gonna happen. Yeah, like obviously I was gonna do that, dude. You suck.
And it's like they think they won because they were skilled, and it was like, no, you didn't win. You win because that's I said that on streaming really so many times. It's like hammer is a really bad card for the game and for the players because if you want to improve as a player, you shouldn't play hammer because you play hammer heads and you win. You feel you win because you are good. And when you flip hammer tails and you lose, you will never learn why you lose because you will say, "Oh, I lose because I flip tails." So the level of these players will never improve because they actually is not. I mean, I'm objective, and what I'm reading on Twitter, I'm really active on Twitter. I'm reading all the time. No, bro, I lost the match because I flipped hammer tails against CDP. I was like, what about not playing hammers against CDP and try to beat the match with another strategy that you can control?
Yeah.
So it's like it's a really, really bad card for the game, in my opinion, for players and for the game because if only a few people play the card, all right, that's fine. But you go online and in 1 hour, 2 hours of streaming, I'm being hammered like 90% of the time.
Mm-hmm.
So it's like something is wrong with the community right now. But that's my opinion, of course.
I don't know. Like it is crazy because the way when you say it like that, it's so true. Like there's no you're not getting better by playing a hammer. And like the hammer is it's an overpowered card because as much emphasis as they've put on like going first. Like you can go first, but you can't attack. You can't play a supporter. The one thing you can do is get energy like advantage. And then they're like, oh yeah, but we have this card called a hammer. So like if they go second and hit you with a hammer, we just took your whole turn away.
A hammer supported an attack. Also.
Yep. They just took your whole turn away completely. And then you wonder why I don't want to play this game. Like this guy got a whole turn to play everything he wanted and attack, and took my turn away, and then he's happy he won. Like, get out of here.
Yeah, and in this format, in 3 turns you win or lose, right? It's like, all right, I can't come back because there are no comeback. No, there are no cards to come back.
Yeah,
it's a very high risk, high reward card.
Right. I think expanded so much. Other than the turn 1 rule, which I think should be converted back, but I just thought like I think there's just so many cards in there. The more we can play that format, the more like we can get answers to 2 things where we couldn't like in standard, there's just not enough. There's not enough stuff, and I think tag teams are just too powerful. Like VMAXs or whatever. I've said this from the beginning. I think VMAXs are just really nerfed cards from the past that got really high HPs, and they just can't compete with these tag teams. Like you look at Pikarom. Everybody says Pikarom's dead. Every time something happens, it's like, oh, no more Thunder Mountain. Can't play that card. No
Thunder Mountain, no Electric Power. Pika still being the best deck in the format.
Yep.
I know. It's insane how the moment it came out up until this day, it's still present.
It's like it makes zero sense.
That shows the power of the card. The card power.
It's like, but like if you look at tag teams all together, like tag teams are dominating both formats. Because like Tina Chomp in expanded is literally 240 turn 1, and it's like, what do you like? Okay,
and then you have the Naga Gusler for taking the 2 last prizes for free.
Yep.
You know?
Two. Yep. It's like they only have to knock out 2 Pokemon. So like turn 1 240, which will probably knock out anything. Especially because I didn't get to play a supporter, so
exactly.
And you took Shaman away from me, so like I got to play 1 Crobat and hope that was good. And then the next turn you like Guzma up, kill my Crobat. So now that, and then I lose because all you have to do is attach a Double Dragon and GX.
Double Dragon game.
Yeah. So it's like there's a lot of balancing that needs to be done, but I'm cool with it because we're not in, like, there are no real events right now.
Yeah, so it's like we play because we love the game.
Yes.
Pretty much.
But it could be better, but we play because we continue enjoying the game and the community, because I guess the community in general is amazing. Like when I started to play TCG, I mean, I never played TCG before, like any other TCG game before Pokemon, because I was playing chess for like 20 years. And I love Pokemon like since I was 5 years old, and one friend teach me how to play the game. And before playing any single trading card game, since the first day I started to until now, like the community is amazing. Like the people are really great, because like 95% of people I face in real life, even if I win and they lose and they were sad, they were like super, nice guys, cool people. And after the tournament, even if you beat a friend, the friend will say, yo bro, let's go dinner together, because it's not like toxic. So that's what I like of Pokemon, that we are lucky to have this nice community over the world, because I have so many friends on America, on Oceania, Latin America, Europe. It's like crazy how this is just the game is like the excuse, right? Japan. The game is like the excuse to have friends and to travel and stuff like that. But it's really nice.
I'm playing a Pokemon tournament. I just got destroyed. So I went
it's really great.
I don't even want to talk about what just happened. I just got crushed by what is it?
Hammers?
No, it's Dragon Pole. He killed both my Rowlets on turn 2. I was like, okay, never mind. That was bad. But
maybe you play in the 50 HP Rowlet, not the 60 HP. Be careful.
Yeah, I was playing the 50 HP. That's why we lost. Like,
that matters.
Who's playing Dragon Pole right now? Come on, guys.
Yeah, no one.
Exactly. I would get paired against that. But yeah, I tell people that all the time when like they're like, "Oh, you travel around the world playing Pokemon cards?" I'm like, when you say it like that, when you put a like emphasis on like, "Oh, playing Pokemon cards," it's like, yes, it sounds stupid, but like, you don't understand how many friends I have that are all around the world. You don't understand like. It makes like I see the world, like, and like it's so much easier to travel when you have like 10 people in a hotel room. I'm staying a week at internationals or whatever, and I paid like $200. It's like that's so like I stayed there a week. Okay, like could you do that? No, you couldn't. Like people don't realize like the type of community you build from focusing on like one thing. And like the people you like, it all experience makes it worth it, no matter what, win or lose. Obviously, you go there to try to win. Like when I got third at a regional, like that just like there's nothing that feels any better than that, you know. But I like when I went to NAIC and I lost my winning in. I think that event was the most fun I've ever had because I'm staying there in a group of like really talented people. I'm learning every day on how to play better at this game, and like we're making bonds. We're going out to dinner every night. We're going out and getting drunk and having like fun, and like there's nothing like that. Like, and I think we all took it for granted.
Yeah, I remember because at some point, of course, in levels of, for example, me that it's like my work until now because now we can't play real events. But it was my work for like 3 years just to compete and try to be good at the game and try to earn money, whatever. But it's like at some point, of course, you want to win. You prepare for the tournament, but when you are in the tournament or in the travel, the last thing you want to do is test Pokemon because, for example, it's like I already test 6, 8, 10 hours every day for Worlds, for International, for whatever. When you are in a tournament, it's like, bro, I don't want to test any card. Let's just play. Let's play Smash. Let's play.
Yes.
Let's do a party, whatever. And it was funny because one of the boot camp we did for Worlds in like 2018. We were to Torres in Norway. We were all the day, not even close, all the day in like a lake. We had like a big lake, like playing tennis in the lake, playing with the ball in the water, playing GameCube games, playing Switch games, do everything, but not Pokemon TCG.
Exactly.
And it's like at night at like 2 a.m. I was like, let's play some games just to not feel bad, Let's play some games. All right, let's play Soda Rayquaza. Okay. But it was like the last thing you do in that times when you prepare and it's like, all right, I'm going to have fun with my friends and then we test a little. And after that, Robin become world champion. I become top 4 at Worlds, So it's like you said, it's like the friends, the community, and the time you having fun because you already prepared before for that,
Yeah, even whatchamacallit, like not like prep season, but even like when you leave your house, like the travel phase where like let's say like you leave your house, you're going to the airport and you're like on the way to whatever event you're going. Like I personally have fun traveling, like going through the airport, and once you get to the city, it's more exciting because even though it's like a city you might already know, it's a different atmosphere from your daily life, and you get to see all your friends. So it's just it's fun hanging out, having dinner, chatting and all that stuff, and you're just having a great time because you're just having a night out in a place where you don't go often, and then once the event happens, you're just like, I just want to be over with this already. I just want to go back to my hotel room. Like it doesn't even matter if you're losing or winning, because like even if you're like 3-0, you're like, oh, I still have 6 rounds, and in 6 rounds anything can happen, So it's like I just it's like it's not like I don't like the game. I just want to play all the rounds quick and figure it out. If I win or I lost, if I win, cool. If I lose,
Cool.
like I just want to go back to my room.
Right? We'll get sushi. We'll do something. It's like we stay at home, we test, and then we go to a party and celebrate all our testing.
I remember in one North American International, someone told me, it was like, who was? It was like Peter Kika probably. Like, bro, between rounds, like, bro, one less round to play Mafia this night,
Yes.
Yo, bro, only one more round, then we play Mafia all the night. That's the thing you know.
And it's like, I don't know, people outside of communities, because like, I mean, we can be pretty blunt here. A lot of adults, they go to a 9-to-5 job and they go home and they take care of their kids, or if they don't have kids, they watch Netflix and they do that. And it's like, but like, and then you could sit here and say, oh, I play Pokemon cards, and they're like, oh, that's so childish. But it's like, you just don't understand. Like, there's so much more to it.
Yeah.
Like, to just say I play Pokemon cards is like such a blanket statement that like, and like it's hard to explain to anyone. Like,
Yeah.
and it's like, do I even care? Do I even care to explain to you? Because you've already written it off as like you're a child, and it's like if
It's like
you're
a
gonna,
global culture. Yeah, it's like a global culture over the world. And
Yeah.
you can explain that to your friends, but with people that you don't care, it's like, bro,
yeah, it's
think
not
whatever
even-
you want. We continue this because it's this thing of my life. You know?
Exactly. That's what I like. I'm like,
Yeah.
I don't even need to explain. Like, yes, that's what I do. I just, yep, I'm a child. I go across the pond to play Pokemon cards. Yep. And it's, I don't know.
Because I can actually say to my friends, like, thank you to Pokemon, I could travel to Australia 4 times. I could travel to to USA 5 years. I could travel to Brazil 3 times. I could travel to
Yep.
all the world. And for example, I made my mom happy because she loves travel, and thanks to Pokemon, she was happy to see all these places. I was like, all right, it's a chill game. Maybe you can think it's a chill game, but this chill game made my mom happy and made me happy to travel around the world every year.
Yeah.
So,
I think a lot of people just don't understand. I think it's it might come to light. It really might, because with like this whole boom of like, the collector scene, like some of these collectors are gonna be interested. They're gonna be like, wait, there's more to this than just did I get a PSA 10? Like, what do people do with these cards? And like, you never know. You might see someone like a Logan Paul or something go to one event and go, all right, let me try this, and then who knows? Who knows? I mean,
you know that
it could be
that
done.
already happened in Japan.
Oh yeah, that's what's up. See?
Yeah, that's how you could. That's how pretty much there was a time period where you couldn't buy packs in Japan was because of that.
Yeah, it's pretty.
Yeah.
Like right now, it's insane. Like and
Yeah.
and like I think it's hella funny because like I feel like Pokemon's really diving in on it. Like that Champion's Path thing was like the most trash set ever, and they're like shiny Charizard. And it's like
easy.
why?
Easy.
Why?
Yeah.
I'm like, I
No,
opened
what
up
is
packs and they were like, I had negative money and I got like three full arts. I'm like, no Charizard. How much are these? They're all 50 cents. I'm like, okay, never mind.
Sure.
It's such trash, but I think it's cool. We'll see what happens. Hopefully, like Raul predicted, and we know Raul. Who knows? He predicted May that we'll be back at events and that we will have a Worlds. And I don't know. I'd love to think that was true.
I would love think that, but like
Right?
kind of pessimistic, right? Because this
Yeah.
thing is not even becoming better, not even close. So I guess we just play
Yeah,
online,
just
have fun with friends, call with friends.
Yeah.
Yeah, exactly. Like try to make the game alive, and
Yeah.
if it becomes next
Exactly.
year or the other, we probably can't control that. So yeah, try to
Yeah.
not think too much on these guys because that.
Yeah, I think the key word here is adapting yourself,
Exactly.
Yeah, I agree.
adapting to new ways, or just find things you can entertain yourself within what you can do now.
I mean,
Try to be creative.
I'd personally be okay with rotation happening before we play a live event again, because like, man, you gotta get rid of this peak ROM, get rid of this ADP, and
Yeah.
like,
That's fine.
I don't know.
It was funny because-
I look at some of these VMAX cards. I'm like, dude, these cards are good. They're just not good now.
Like a friend told me, like, yo, all right, we no one likes this situation, but imagine needing to travel to play this format. That was really bad. It was really bad. It's like I don't want to travel to play this format, so that's the only good thing.
Yep, I agree. That's so funny. Because like,
to sit in round one to a new player that they hammer, GG, well played, hammer. Bro.
Oh, to
Or
sit
they
you
like,
you got an out, buddy?
Saucer,
No. Okay.
yeah, so you switch GX Stone 1. I was like, all right, I drop. And it's like, you don't want to play this format in real life right now.
Boss's order, game.
Exactly.
Good job.
It's like, yo, bro, you had the boss, bro. Right, sure.
Yep.
All right.
You only have 4 of them
Game, good luck.
with the Elder Goss and Mewtwo or something. You're like, okay, cool guys.
Yeah.
Um, Speaking of that, before like we wrap it all up, we did kind of touch on the leak of V Union. Um, I mean, the only thing I hear the word Union, and all I'm thinking is tag teams, multiple Pokemon on one card, and like 90 million HP. Because like you already have V Maxes that are like crazy amount of HP. If you're gonna add two Pokemon on a card, what are we talking here? 600 HP. Like, how healthy is this? And like, does this
The word union doesn't help to think something positive, right? It's like
Right.
your union sounds like a tag team or sounds like a two big Pokemon configured to do crazy things that maybe give for prizes. I was like, oh, I don't know if these are gonna be good or not, but
4 prizes? Like, the HP's
I
gotta
miss, I
be.
miss, yeah, I miss at times that you can actually bridge it. The opponent can bridge it, and you play a long game, and you enjoy the game so much. Even if you're facing Zoroark, Gardevoir, the Decidueye,
Yeah.
whatever stage 1, stage 2 deck, you actually both plays the game and do their cards. But now in turn 2, you 300, and now it seems more time goes, it's becoming worse with the cards they are created, right? Because now we have a 340 HP Pokemon that attack for 2 energies only and do 270 damage.
Yeah.
And it's like,
Yeah.
people, I mean, why? Why we
Why?
create these things? Like, there is no sense, right? You can actually, before Bridges, Sorua, Sorar, 120, you thought that was crazy damage, and it was not even 2-hit kill sometimes. So it's like, it was really funny, because now it's like, all right, you do the same, you do Eternatus, Crobat, draw 6 card, research. Next turn, whatever you have in the active position, you go Evolution, Second Energy, 270 HP turn 2, and you have 340 to tank.
Right.
I don't like that. I don't
Like,
it's
the
like,
numbers are so off. I think I've said this almost on every podcast. Like, if you look at the history of Pokemon, especially like when I first started playing, we were in like a format where it was Landorus.
SP?
No, I was not. That's too far back for me. But like we were playing like Landorus Bats, where Landorus
30,
did.
Mhm.
Well, it ended up being 90-30, which 90 was like half of 180, so it's two-shotting. Like 90,
it was
180, you get the cards, you could do it, you know? But now I'm doing like 290 for no reason. What does 290 do? What am I, like, it's like, I could do 170 and it would be just as appropriate. Like, it's still two-shotting. Like, why are we just putting big numbers to put big numbers? Like, Pokemon, usually it was really good on numbers. It was crazy. Like, you would sit and theory out a deck, and you're like, okay, if I have a choice band here, boom, it hits perfectly. That's crazy. It's like 2 shots here, perfect. And now I look at it, I'm like, I can do 280, 80, I guess. I don't know why,
Yeah.
but like
they are out. It's like we reach some point, they are out of control, and there is no way to reverse it. That's the problem.
right. I felt like they were doing well. Like, I seen the tag teams. So I'm like, okay, that's gonna be an issue. Like, that's just an issue. We're gonna deal with it. And then like when they started making the V's, I'm like, they took a lot of mechanics from old format and just nerfed them. Like, we have Shaman, but you can only use it once. We have like, there's a few other things. Off the top of my head, I can't think, but it's just like everything. Like Dedenne, you could do it once. Like,
Exactly.
there's stuff, but everything just had giant HPs. So I'm like, okay. So like the format's gonna be a nerf format with that 2 shots basically, and I'm like, I can respect that, and I hope that's what we were gonna look at going into the 2020 season, where we just have to deal with high HP. But
yeah, hopefully.
then you throw out this union thing, and I'm like, oh, let's just throw it all out the window. Let's just not care, you know?
Yeah. You know, I'm sorry. Speaking of making cards and all this stuff, yeah, I was gonna say as far as I know, Japan, they usually make those cards like almost like 6 months in advance, and they usually think a couple of sets in ahead of it. So they do have like an intention, like let's say if there's one set, the following set has like a purpose for it or something like that. So they usually try to think about it.
Right? That's what I
And
thought.
another like a mini fun fact that a lot of people doesn't know is so Rayquaza GX. I mean, Pedro knows it, but when they made it, the card was initially 2 energy to attack. Yeah, and then they test the card and they test it, and then they quickly figured out, oh no, this is too good. Let's make it 3 energy.
That's hilarious. Like,
Yeah,
you should. I mean, I feel like the game has been very thought out. I mean, we all complain about every format. Like, it's just how the game works. Like, when you lose, you just want to complain about something. But I think overall, I think the game's been very thought out, and there's outplay. Except recently, where Pedro's right. Like, you throw out hammers and you take away our supporter turn 1, and now it's rough to say that you're trying. You're not.
Yeah, I was even thinking that without boss in the format, of course we didn't try, but without boss in the format, the game will be super, super more fun, in my opinion, because people thought, or people said some weeks or months ago, that ADP was a problem, being EDP, whatever. But ADP without boss is not that even good, because you got GX, but then you can't win in 2 turns. So you need to actually think in the game, because when we play Europe against USA, when we play you against USA, the game we think the less, it was ADP, because like, all right, Nico, attach energy is ASEAN, GX, and pray. And if not, you just boss and win, and if not, we lose. It was like, bro, it's the only game we actually are not taking decision. Like, we can't control the game. We just attach, boss. So, and sometimes when you play Pika, when you play Mewtwo, when you play Blacephalo, well, not Blacephalo, but sometimes Sentinel, you play Eternatus, when you play so many top decks, the common scenario in every deck you play is like, if I hit boss, I win.
Yeah.
So it's like, without boss in the format, maybe we need to figure out the new problem that could be control, for example, but so many decks or so many strategies will be different, and you actually can think about saving resources if you know there is no boss in the format, because now you just spam the cards in board to thin the deck, and turn 3 you deck out to win the game because you hit boss for a game. So it was funny because so many people said ADP is the problem, but in my opinion, the problem of the current format, other than the RNG cards, that is fine, okay, it's RNG, is boss. Because if you rewatch all the series of EU against USA, or if you rewatch every streaming of someone competitive player, the common scenario is like, if I hit boss, I win the game.
Yeah.
And if I don't hit boss, I lose the game. So it's like, maybe that could be, if, of course, it's not possible to fix. But without boss, like, all right, maybe you play more Marnies, maybe you play more cards to draw cards without discarding, maybe you play 2 Fiones, but you manage the game in another way. But now it's like, you spam your cards, you just go speed energy, quick ball, Crobat, research the DNA, I won. And you lost all your cards.
Yeah.
I mean, Pedro, the way I see it is, without a boss, the format would have been like crushing hammers and Pokemon catchers.
Yeah. I was like, they were Pokemon catching everything. It was like, you play 4...
It's like, at least you give emotion, and it's not guaranteed. What I want to say is, like, all right, it's going to be a flip fiesta. But
flip fiesta, dude.
It's not that I spam my cards, and I know I win. Boom, boom.
Yeah, I felt like without boss, we were playing. It was like 4 catchers, 2 great catcher, 4 custom catcher, and you're just like, eventually I'll hit one of these, and I'll win.
No, I don't blame you. Don't worry, Pedro.
But I agree. I agree. Like that. I mean, bosses is all. That thing's been busted. Like, it's always the out to win in almost every. Like, if you look at past Pokemon, it's just like, all right, he hits the Lysander, he wins. Like, Lysander game. Or it's always like, because like a smart player is gonna hide their Pokemon in the back. Like, I'm gonna make you have it. So like, it usually always comes down to something like that. I don't know. It is what it is.
It's what we have. So we just play what we have. So whatever.
Like, I don't know. At least it's a supporter now.
Yeah, it's weird to balance it out, because without like a dragon card, I feel like there will be like a setup deck where if they set up, they can win
Yeah,
or something like that. And
I
with
agree.
future cards coming out and whatnot. But so I feel like they're like even like the designers for the cards itself, they're also having a hard time to balance it
Yeah,
without. I
it's
feel like they don't want to go too extreme either side, preferably, but they're having a hard time.
Yeah, I agree. I think I
yeah,
don't
no,
know.
of course.
Like when you have the turn one rule, it's like when you first heard it, you're like, oh, that sucks. Then everybody's jumped on board and it's like, ah, actually, it's pretty good. I think that's good. Um, but I like, to be honest, I don't think any of it matters. It's just like we'll play it the way they tell us, and like either
Yeah,
way,
basically.
we're gonna complain
Because,
either
like,
way.
for example, in Welder, all right, you welded on one, but you can't Volcanion, so it's a kind of balance, right?
Yeah,
In I don't know, in like Marnie could be the only problem because you put the opponent with 4 cards in the
Yes.
hand turn one. That could be annoying, right? But
yeah,
yeah, it's like we have, and like Franco said, of course, I want to think the creators and the designers, of course, want the best of the game, and yeah, I mean, I just hope, of course, the game will continue to be funny as much as possible, right? So
yeah,
I
Yeah,
always want to think that they try their best to make the game as good as
yeah.
possible.
yeah. That's
I d-
why. That's why every time when they come out with a new card, I usually get more excited on the trainer cards more than the Pokemon
yes,
cards.
yes,
I mean, they both
always.
matters, but the trainer cards usually kind of affect the game in the long run, like in both formats too. Expanded and standard. So
Yep. Every
I
time
usually like to
a
see the
set drops,
trainers first.
that's the first thing I look at is trainers. I'm like, all right, what are
And
we doing here?
finally, now we can play Sassian. That was an unplayable card, and now we got the 30 extra
Oh my
attack.
god,
Now
stop!
finally Sassian is playable. That's nice for the game.
Yeah,
Yeah,
we just
that's
have
what
to
we
wait for the
need.
rotation now.
Yeah, that's crazy. But yeah, I think this podcast went pretty well. Like we went off on some tangents, but like we touched everything, and the formats are what they are now, and it's hard to really work on them, especially without like big events. And um, we got the player thing happening. We'll see what happens with that.
Yeah.
We continue to just keep playing these online tournaments with limitless, and thank the gods that they exist. And or like I think Pokemon would pretty much just be over, uh, because like it's pretty like PTOs is pretty trash.
That is what we have, right?
Yeah, it's what we have, and I think the
Yeah.
community. And I mean, if you take anything from this podcast, is this community is actually insane, and
Exactly.
you
That's the important thing,
Yep.
and more in these times we live. So
yep.
Yeah.
I appreciate both of you guys coming on. If you guys have any shout outs
Mm-hmm.
or anything you want to do, you got the floor. Pedro.
well, thank you to you, of course, for having me. Thank you, Franco, because lately we're talking too much. We're having a lot of fun, and thank you to organize the tournament with me, like the U against USA. We will try to do more in the future, of course. And yeah, thank you to USA team, thank you to Europe team, and thank you to all the viewers and all the people that actually support this and have a lot of fun. Hopefully you enjoy this podcast too. And well, you can follow me on Twitter.
all
I'm
there.
sure it's gonna be in the information there. You
Yeah,
will
it's right behind. It's right under you.
Sininchi and Twitch, Sininchi18. I'm streaming every single day, always with good vibes, having fun. So yeah, now you can go, Franco.
All right. Well, I do want to say thank you to you, of course, for inviting me as well, and thank you to Pedro and the whole team that participated from Europe. I really do want to thank them and Pedro for coordinating to make it happen because each team is kind of it's 7 people team, so you can't one person cannot really handle everything or put everything together. It's a lot of management to I have to put my people together and coordinate, and I have to coordinate with Pedro. So Pedro was really good, helping me for this. Without Pedro, pretty much I don't think it would have happened.
Right.
So it was good. Especially, I also do want to thank still, everyone from the EU team, each one of my opponents, because after all, like I keep saying, this was like just a friendly match, and it wasn't like a tournament. There was like no prizes, nothing on the line. We were just playing Pokemon for fun,
Yeah.
and we were there for like almost 11 hours.
An hour. Yeah,
Like,
let's do 2 days
nonstop.
next time.
Yeah, 11 hours. Yeah, and we were pretty much doing all that for literally nothing.
Yeah.
We were just doing this because we like it, and pretty much for the community. Because we wanted to show. We pretty much, our motivation, at least my motivation and Pedro's motivation, was to provide a new form of entertainment for the community. It's the same game. It's still a Pokemon trading card game, but if we twist, a few things and whatnot, we can play the game a little differently and make it look different. And, it's like a different shape or form of entertainment. And I'm very glad to all of my viewers and, Pedro's viewers and everyone in the community who liked the idea as well, because, that also motivate us for next time or want to do something else. Feedback is really important for us to continue or discontinue things. And the fact that people liked it, I'm very glad, because, it feels like our 11 hours of effort and fun led for new things in the future.
Right.
And I also hope that this could innovate other people for other things for the community as well. So overall, I just want to thank everyone. If anyone wants to follow me on Twitter, you can see my Twitter here, there, or probably there.
It's
most likely
there.
Though.
Yeah. Dope. Yeah, guys, thanks for coming.
All right, thank you.
These are Thursday episodes. Like every Thursday, it's gonna be something like this. I'm gonna have 2 guests on. We're gonna talk what happened in the last week of Pokemon. That's any type of Pokemon collections, TCG, VGC, whatever it is. So please tune in. Please watch. Hit that like button. If you're listening to audio only, leave a review. Those are always fun to watch or read. Some of them are hilarious.
Just click on like and subscribe, right? Don't forget.
Yeah. I don't even care about the subscribe.
Guys,
Hit the like
free.
button. I don't know.
Right, it's free.
Right.
It's free, and you
free.
help a lot, right?
Yeah.
Hit it, smash it the way you like it.
Yep. Mondays will be the one-on-ones. This Monday I'm going to have Will Jenkins on, and he's going to talk about starting a TCG player store. So there's a lot of fun information in that. So stay tuned for that, guys. But for now, we're just going to scoop it up.